All right, so on our Canvas website, if you go to installing ArcGIS Desktop on your personal computer, there will be a link to a Google Doc, and you have to sign in with your UMISH credentials. This Google Doc has everything you need to download and install ArcGIS Desktop that we'll be using in the class, and it's very long, and so I recommend using the table of contents at the top here. So first step is we need to download the software and install it, and then the second step will be licensing it with a licensing file. So we're using ArcGIS Desktop. You'll see that there's also sections for ArcGIS Pro, which is a newer version of ArcGIS software that does similar things to ArcGIS Desktop, but in a different way. And so for our class, we're going to be entirely using ArcGIS Desktop. So what you can go to is downloading ArcGIS Desktop and click the link, and it'll take you down into the document where there are two download links for the latest version, 10.8.1. The top is just the software suite. The bottom is an add-on that allows the software to use the full 64-bit architecture of modern computers. Most of your computers should be 64-bit. And so if you want to speed up processing a little bit, feel free to download this second background geoprocessing tool and install it. But the only thing we really need for the class is this top piece of software, ArcGIS Desktop 10.8.1. If you click on that link, it'll take us to Box, where again we'll have to log in with our UMISH credentials, but once we're in, it has a download for the installer. So save that file, download and save it. Alright, so once that download is finished, it'll be in your downloads folder, and you can double click it to begin the installation process. Okay, clicking through the installer, we're not going to change any settings in the installation, so you can just click on through. The first step is that it unpacks the installation software, and then it'll open that and we'll actually do the installation proper. So here it's finished extracting. Leave this checked. Alright, so on my computer I already had a previous version of ArcGIS, but you might not get this message because you might be installing ArcGIS fresh onto a computer that's never had it. But regardless, go ahead and click through the installer, hit accept on the end user agreement. We'll do complete installation. Okay, and it's installing it to our C drive. It also is going to install Python because a lot of ArcGIS geoprocessing tools use Python. So we'll hit yes there and install. So now this window pops up with a big loading bar, and this is the actual installation. It's unpacking that 1 gigabyte installer into the full 3 gigabytes of the whole software suite. And so this takes quite a while. I'd recommend going and working on some other stuff and checking on it every so often. And we'll come back once it's finished and license the software. Alright, so the installer finished. We can hit finish, and the next step is licensing the software. So going back to that Google Doc that we looked at the beginning, we got our download link from, we're going to scroll to the top and find ArcGIS Desktop, and under that license ArcGIS Desktop. There's a couple of options. There's concurrent use and single use. We're going to do single use. So click on that link. It'll take you down, and the instructions are right here. You're welcome to follow them. The short of it all is that we need to download this this link here, which is a file. That's the licensing file. Same thing, we go to Box, we download it. Once it's downloaded, it looks like this. It's got a little key. and we can just open it. It will by default open with the software authorization wizard, which is part of that ArcGIS Desktop software package. And for this, we can basically just click through everything with default values, authorizing using the internet. One thing is that we need to fill in this information. I just used the University of Michigan's address. Once that information is filled in, you can hit next, and it'll also ask for your industry, basically. So we are students, higher education, student. So I picked those categories. Next, this is asking for the licensing numbers. They all will autofill, so you can just click next for all of these. And at this point, it'll connect to the servers and authorize the software. Okay, once it's authorized, you should be able to go and open up ArcGIS. The folder will be in your programs now, and it has a whole bunch of pieces of software within it, including ArcMap 10.8.1. That's the one we're going to be using primarily. All right, thanks for following along. I hope that all worked, and of course, reach out to any of the GSIs if you have any problems installing this.